Snap poker is obviously so much faster than regular tables, but at the same time, it does come with its own set of advantages. Hey guys, I'm Nick Eastwood, or EC22. I'm part of the Ace 8 Poker stream team, and I'm here today to talk to you about the difference between regular table cash games and snap poker cash games. So snap poker is a fast fold form of poker. Regular cash games, you sit in the same seat every time, and you fold when it gets to you. In snap poker, your seat changes all the time. When you fold, you get a brand new hand immediately. So you're going to be playing with different players all the time, depending on how big the pool is. When you're on a regular table, you're playing with the same people, usually, for a sustained period of time, in the same positions, and this changes strategy drastically. So the main advantage obviously of playing snap is that you're going to get way more hands in. The volume is obviously much higher. On regular tables, you're probably going to be playing, in the region of a quarter of the hands per hour off the top of my head. So if your main objective is to get a lot of volume in, you feel really confident, I'd say the best thing for you to do is to play snap poker. The softer games generally are found at regular tables though. If you're looking for the easiest games, if you're looking for the games where people are making maybe the most questionable plays, then probably regular tables are for you. Another cool advantage, at least for me personally, is the consistency and the convenience of playing snap poker. You can just load up your tables and they stay there the whole time. Obviously, when you're playing regular tables, sometimes the tables can break, sometimes action can slow down. You can fall to three-handed or two-handed sometimes, depending on if players get knocked out of the table. When you're playing snap, generally speaking, it's all very, very consistent. Yes, your position's going to be changing, but for the most part, you get to just sit there and lock in. You don't have to worry about table changes. And for me as a streamer, obviously that's a huge advantage because I don't have to change any of my windows while I'm playing. So position is one of the main things that changes from regular tables to snap tables. In snap tables, as soon as you fold, you're going to get a new hand in a new position and not necessarily in order. So if you fold the button, you're not necessarily going to be in the cutoff in the next hand. When you're playing a regular table, obviously you're going to sit in the same seat all the time. And at the same time, you're going to be in the same position relative to your opponents. So you may have position on, a regular player for the course of your session on a regular table, but obviously when you fold on a snap table, it's completely random and you could be under the gun one hand, big blind in the next, button in the next. You need to stay on top of that and recognize how your position's changing and what players are being moved either side of you at the same time. So your bankroll management should probably change if you're going to decide to play snap tables over regular tables, just purely because of the volume. You can play up to 3 or 4 times as many hands in a session on a snap table session as you would on a regular table session. So you need to make sure that your bankroll is able to handle the swings that will come with the additional volume. So there are 2 main ways that I use to approach getting reads on the snap pool. Obviously, even though you're changing seat all the time and you're going to be playing against a lot of different opponents, you will see the same players fairly often during your session, maybe not in the same positions, but you will play a lot of hands with them. And it's important that if you do get into situations with them, that you pay attention to what they're doing and make notes. If you ever see something notable, I would make sure to jot it down so you can use it against that player in the future. The other would be using the inbuilt HUD that Ace 8 Poker has recently installed on their software. This will show you 4 important numbers that you can use against your opponent. The first would be how many hands they played, which is useful to know what your sample size is. The second would be their VPIP, which is how often they voluntarily put chips into the pot in any form. The third would be their pre-flop raise stat, which is how aggressively they're opening into pots. And the last one would be their 3-bet, which is how often they raise versus an open. All these stats can be used to get a general feel for how aggressive or passive your opponent is, and it's almost always the first thing that I will look for before entering into a pot with an opponent. So if you are thinking about playing snap for the first time, there's something really important you've got to keep in mind. Obviously, everything is a lot faster. If you're coming from playing maybe 4 to 6 to maybe 8 regular tables, and that's manageable for you, genuinely you might want to just drop down to 1 or 2 because the hands come thick and fast. And obviously, if you're playing a lot of hands very quickly, it can be very difficult to maintain your A game. You might find yourself folding a few too many hands because you're in too many spots at the same time. So make sure you manage that volume early on while you're still building into playing snap poker.